Alrighty, what is up, y'all? We are here for the first ever TK Gaming podcast. I'm Spencer. We got Jud here with us.
Hey, what's up, guys?
It's going to be a shit show. We're just going to put that out for starters. First ever podcast. We don't know what we're doing. This is probably going to be ass. The footage you're seeing, I don't know what it is. It's going to be a game. So just kind of bear with us. I wanted to get Battlefield 6 footage, but I was kind of a numbnuts and I didn't record, so it's going to have to be something else. But kind of bear with us. If you have any game recommendations, you want to see the next podcast background, let me know. We'll try to make it happen. But getting right into it, what the hell is TK Gaming? We're still trying to figure that out, to be honest. It's Team Kill Gaming, because myself and a lot of my friends, the thing we are best at in video games is killing each other. It doesn't matter what type of game, what game, we will kill each other. There will be violence.
Oh, yeah.
And so
Definitely.
we made a group for it, and we just I don't know, there's been a lot to go into it. Like I said, we're still trying to figure a lot out. One thing is game reviews. We're just kind of sick and tired of all the drama and just like kind of BS game reviews out there that it's so politically motivated. I feel like, or a lot of it's trying to push an agenda. You'll see games that are just phenomenal, arguably some of your favorite games of the year, and they get just tank scores. And then you see absolute, just really, for lack of a better term, dog shit.
Dog slop.
Exactly. And it's game of the year for some reason. And or not game of the year. The game of the years in previous years have been pretty good, but it's in contention for it. And you're like, how the hell is it even in contention? So yeah, we wanted to talk about it. We wanted to come out here, rant, a bunch of nobodies, get mad, talk to maybe nobody, talk to maybe a couple people, who knows? But that's one side of it. And then content. We all kind of do content and make clips from time to time. And we thought, what if we all teamed up, played together, made content on the side on top of the game reviews and whatnot. And that's kind of what it is. It's just a content group with reviews and whatnot. Like I said, friends, mutuals, kind of open to whoever right now. If someone's vetted, not a troll, like they're willing to, give it some effort, we're considering, adding more people. That's the fun of it. We got a lot more to figure out.
Definitely.
But yeah, no, that's pretty much it. Shout out to our new website. I finally learned how to make a website. Still a work in progress, so bear with us. But we got that, and all of our socials will be linked in the description. Highly recommend and highly appreciate following us on this journey of getting started here. But getting into the podcast specifically, right now the goal is once a month. If we can nail once a month, and we don't have a specific day in mind, but if we can do once a month, the first I think would be ideal. Obviously, that ship sailed for September, but I think that would be awesome. And we are planning on getting more people into the podcast. It's probably going to be me and Jud mostly as the main two. One of us may be out from time to time. I have a baby due next month, so I don't know if I'm going to be in it unless we do it early, or if Jud's going to have to take the reins on that one. But we have plenty of other members that are interested in being in this podcast, so they have a lot to talk about too. We in our Discord, we just all rant sometimes about games and stuff going on. So we're like, dude, let's start a podcast and get it going.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We got some things to talk about. We want to get some introductions and stuff going, make sure you guys know a little bit about ourselves and our background, let you know a little bit of what we're familiar with in gaming and stuff, and, hopefully talk about some of these things that are going on, some things we're looking forward to, some things we're not looking forward to, and hopefully spark some conversation and make this interesting for you guys.
We want this to be like a two-way conversation too. So if you guys have opinions, like you disagree with us, you agree with us, if we miss something, if we got something incorrect, there's a good chance we're going to miss something or get something incorrect early on here. We're trying our best.
Yeah, and that's something I want to say early on. I'm sure Spencer wants to get this out there too. We've done some research. It's not going to be the full extent of we've dove into this like hardcore and poured over some of this information for hours. Some of this could be baseline information. Some of it could have changed by the time that we've heard about it. So I want to put that statement out there before we get into some of these topics and stuff we might not be knowledgeable on. And you can always correct us. We're always open to changing our mind on some subjects or hopefully trying to get you guys informed on some of these topics and stuff too. But I wanted to make that statement. That way everything's clear that at least for this first episode, it's not going to be like over the top. We're super knowledgeable on all of these subjects. This is our introductions and getting some entertaining info out there.
I apologize too if there's a little bit of Judd going robot. I'm fighting with my internet. He should be good. Yeah, there's like just a second or two in there. You just kind of went robot. I was like, uh-oh. But no, yeah, it's a work in progress. First episode, there's going to be some stuff to improve on for sure. We did do research. I do want to claim that we've been looking through multiple websites, some websites that we may not be too fond of, and kind of just verifying it with some other sites that we trust a little bit more. And then there's some I've never heard of that we were looking at too. So it should be good, but yeah, definitely two-way conversation. Yeah, I mentioned the third member rotating. If there's, I mean, you wouldn't know anyone specifically, but in the future, if you like someone you want to back, let us know. I'd love to have them as long as they want to do it. This episode, we're trying to be somewhat neutral. We're going to talk about some drama and stuff going on, but we're not trying to pick any sides, go too far in depth.
Yeah, nothing here today is going to get political, and I don't think that we'll probably mostly keep this apolitical for the most part.
That is, sorry, that is one of the goals.
Yeah.
We want to talk about game news, reviews, drama, stuff going on in the gaming world, gaming community. But we do want to try our best to remain unbiased. We do want to be honest. Like, if we think something's just crap, we're going to call it out, and it may lean towards a side. We're not trying to be one of those channels or something that only promotes. We're not choosing a side. We're not trying to just hardcore lean to the left, lean to the right, anything like that. Obviously, some topics we may agree with one side, but at the end of the day, we are trying to remain neutral. Hopefully, with some of these other members we have, I think what I would call a diverse group of gamers and people that every single one of us has a different favorite genre of gaming. And so I think when we put that all together, we're going to get some differing opinions for sure, which I think is going to benefit us at the end of the day. Also, we're going to meet me and Judd here a little bit more in a second, but if you want to meet all the other members of the group, all of their intro or all their About Us posts will be on our website. So I highly recommend checking that out so you can meet the other members of our group. And I think the last goal of the podcast is just the length. Our goal is to get 30 to 60 minutes each episode. I think 45 to 50 is the sweet spot. Just enough for most people for their drive to work, maybe drive home from work. Maybe you have us in the background while you're playing a game. I think that's the perfect way. Once again, we don't have our faces. We don't have anything super intriguing, just some background game with occasional posts and screenshots that we're talking about. So I think 45 to 50 will be perfect. With all that stuff said, I think it's time to get into Judd and I here. Who the hell are we? I've been gaming for a very long time. I think my first video game was in 2005. I got the silver GameCube. I also got a PS1 from a buddy who was moving, and for whatever reason, his parents didn't want him to have the PS1. So I got a PS1 for free. First GameCube games, Mario Kart Double Dash, NASCAR 2005, Chase for the Cup. First PS1 games was Spyro 1 and 2. And then I also got a Game Boy Advance around that time, and Yoshi's Island was my first and arguably one of my favorite games of all time, along with Mario Kart Double Dash. But I didn't game a whole lot.
Spyro is definitely one of the best. I will say Spyro is definitely one of the best. I don't mean to interrupt you here.
No, you're good.
I just had to say that.
You're good. The Reignited trilogy is arguably one of my favorite games because they did update it, they did improve it, and being able to play it on the Xbox and modern consoles. Oh my gosh! Oh. I pre-ordered that the second it was announced, and I still love it to this day.
But I have vivid memories playing the multiplayer games that you could play, where you were able to play as two different dragons. I can't remember the name right now, but me and my brother would play that one all the time when we were younger.
See, I never did that. My sister really wasn't into gaming that young, so I just played all the story modes. But yeah, moving on. I didn't game a whole lot as a kid. I lived in Wisconsin as a kid. I moved to Nevada at age about 13. You could probably imagine the outdoor weather and temperature from Wisconsin to Nevada, night and day difference. I started gaming a lot more in Nevada. It was just hot as shit. I wasn't going to go outside in the summer, dude, so I stayed inside, picked up gaming a lot more, got the Xbox 360, World at War, Black Ops 1 were the first two games I got on the Xbox 360. I was addicted to zombies. By far my favorite game mode at the time. There's nothing else I wanted to play. From there, I branched out and became what I am today, but that's kind of how I got into gaming. Platforms I played on kind of covered that. The special thing about me is I am a collector. I have over 2,500 physical copies of video games. I didn't count, but just by a rough estimate, I have over 40 consoles. If you allow me to count duplicates, if you don't count duplicates, I got about 30 different consoles. Still impressive. It's hard to choose what game I want to play, is what I'm getting at. My backlog is probably the longest backlog of anybody you're going to meet. It is insane.
Definitely. I think you've got YouTube content for years, brother. You could probably like you're gonna need to figure out a way to set up a CRTV for some of those things and get a get a Elgato or whatever on those.
Oh, I already got the Elgato going. I'm trying to. It's just finding the time, and then editing is kind of what kicks me in the ass.
Yeah.
But favorite and least favorite games, it's tough when you have this many games. Choosing a favorite is not easy. Black Ops 2 is probably my favorite from the Xbox 360 era. Like I said earlier, Mario Kart Double Dash and Yoshi's Island, probably my top two of all time, tied with Minecraft as top of all time. I play a lot of modded Minecraft. I'm sorry. I am addicted. It is a problem. I need help. Uh, I don't know. Some other games, Fable 3, Dead Rising 2, also Xbox 360 era. Those have a very big place in my heart, is I guess the best way to put it. I always go back to those games. I just love them. We're talking about, we're trying to figure out who our favorite video game characters are of all time. Frank from Dead Rising 2 may fit that. I absolutely love Dead Rising 2. But with that, I think that basically covers me. Of course, there's probably more I could rant about, but no one wants to hear that. So we'll hear about Judd.
All right. So, I think I've been gaming for about probably close to 20 years. I'm 27 currently, and I think the first console I ever played was probably an Atari. But I do remember one of the first things I ever did was, and a core memory of mine was me and my brother messing around with my dad's flight control stick that he had on um, PC, and he would play Mech Warrior, one of the original Mech Warrior games, and me and my brother would mess around with that and play with that. One of the first consoles that I actually owned that was actually mine was PlayStation 2, and then I moved on to the original Xbox after that. I'd have to say that my favorite console is Xbox, but I do hate the console wars. I love all consoles. The only exception to that rule is the Switch. Nintendo, go screw yourself. I'm sorry. Favorite games, I'm trying to kind of run down a lot of these things. I do have some core memories with some of these games. There's some others that I haven't mentioned, but Turok is one of the series that I kind of grew up on. Mainly the 2008 one. Oh good lord, you're actually on a spaceship and stuff, and it has more to do with actual dinosaurs instead of the mainline Turok games where there's dinosaurs, but they're like cyborgs and all sorts of other things like dinosaur creatures. The Jurassic World Evolution series, love that series. It's fantastic. That's like the only park builder you'll probably see me playing. War Thunder, Skyrim, Alien Isolation, Minecraft, Space Engineers. Just those are just a few games that are at the top of my list. So you can see that I have quite the spread of genres that I like to play. Although the ones that you'll see me playing the most are like shooters or RPGs. If I had to pick some most played games, it's definitely War Thunder, Space Engineers, and Minecraft. I've put the most hours into those games. I know we'll probably get some comments about the War Thunder one. Have you leaked any documents and whatever? No, I have not. I do not have access to any documents, so government do not come after me for that one.
I don't think anyone would have.
Um,
We haven't mentioned we're both Navy veterans, so I don't think anyone would have even known yet.
well, yeah, that's true. We haven't mentioned that, but
Yeah.
I was mentioning it preemptively. I did not leak documents. Let's see, video game characters. My favorite video game character, I'd have to say it's Master Chief. It's not one of the favorite games I mentioned, but there's a reason for that. I love the originals and Reach. Those games are fantastic. The recent movement of the series has brought it uh, out of the spotlight for me. I do not like the direction that it's moving. I love the book series that they've made off of the games and all the lore that they've added through the books and stuff. That's fantastic. But the actual game itself, the media, has been moving in a direction that I'm not okay with. I think it's taken a lot of the story and kind of poo-pooed on it. Least favorite games. Let's go through that. Souls-like games and Chinese slot game number 52 million, whatever. I know I'm probably going to catch some flack for that. I am not a super big fan of Souls-like games. There are some exceptions to the rules, but call it skill issue, call it what you want. I'll say it is what it is. I'm bad at those games, and I do not care for them. They're not my type of game. I will say that if you like them, they're good games. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sit here and say that they're bad games. I'm just not a fan of them. I'm not good at them. And I do not want to raise my blood pressure at the end of the day, fighting the same boss 15 million times. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything for me. I would think me and Spencer just happened to mention that we were both in the military, so that's actually one of the things that brought TK together was the fact that like a fair few of us are actually were prior service or still in service.
I don't think anyone's still in. I think we all have gotten out at this point.
Yeah.
But not,
Well, yeah, I was the last one I think to get out.
yeah, just about. Either you or Ryan. Ryan hasn't really done much yet, so we won't talk about him yet.
Yeah.
He's got to do some reviews
Yeah.
or something. Get his butt in gear. His PC's not
Yeah.
even plugged in. He's a nerd, so.
No. Oh no.
I know,
Well,
right?
to be fair, I got to post a review myself and stuff. So.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. No, yeah, you were talking. I forgot. I didn't even talk about my least favorite games and genres. I don't like battle royales. Never have. I don't like games like Rust. I don't like being offline. You
Yep.
spend all this time working, grinding, and then you get off
Yeah,
for the night because I
it's
have a
all
life.
good.
I have a job, and you go back on and it's gone. And yeah, I hate that. Not a fan of it. But yeah, we'll meet more
Absolutely.
members. You're coming up here for you. Like I said, it is diverse. We do have a lot of veterans, but we have a lot of people that aren't. And I just our preference in games is probably what makes us diverse. Even if like we as people are not, which we are, but even if we weren't, some people their favorite games are battle royales and they absolutely hate RPGs. And then you have people that are the exact opposite. You have people that like scary games. You have people that like the kind of grindy, crafty games, survival games. We have a little bit of everything. So I think it's going to work well. Only time will tell. But with that, we're going to talk about some upcoming games here. And I think Jud's going to leave us off. And we're going to go in order from what's being released first. So we're going to talk about the soonest released next.
Okay, yeah. So to start this off, we got Borderlands 4 that's going to be released on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. That's coming out on September 12th. So pretty soon here, actually, in just a few days. And I'm hopeful for this one. The last entry, the gunplay was good, but the replayability was not there, and some of the story changes and stuff that they took from 3 to 4, and them using like Tales from the Borderlands as like main canon events that happened, and then nobody knew about them leading into 3, and then suddenly some characters that were instrumental in the plot lines and everything just not being there. For some players who didn't happen to play those games, because Tales from the Borderlands is like, not some people's cup of tea. They're the your choices matter type games where it doesn't actually matter, because the ending's gonna pretty much be the same, and there's only really one canon ending. So it's one of those things. I know that was probably a little bit of a gripe session on that, but Borderlands 4, I'm hopeful for. Everything I've seen so far, a couple bits of gameplay and everything. I love what they did with the person who has been. I don't know if everybody heard about this, but there was a guy who had cancer who was going to die before the release of the game this month, and they were able to give him an early playthrough of the full game, the full release game, before it released, so that he could play it before he passed. And the company did that for him, and I thought that was really cool, and I wanted to mention that. So props to them, even though they've done some pretty shady things with like Borderlands 3 and whatnot. I'm not gonna blame them for the Borderlands movie that came out. That was handled. I'm pretty like I can't say for this 100% because I don't have all the information in front of me, but I'm pretty sure they had no active part in the making of that script, and the makers of that movie had never played the games and didn't care to. Just like most other video game movies or media.
Yeah, most adaptations into the TV world or movie world have pretty much bombed for video games. But I was gonna say, yeah, with Borderlands 4, it's more of the CEO.
I don't
He's
think there's a whole lot of controversy around this one. I haven't looked into it too much. Like I've been following this one very loosely just because I wasn't as interested because of three's release and handling and the storyline and whatever. If they bring the gunplay forward from 3 and improve the story elements and makes some characters less insufferable, I think it'll be a good game. Honestly, if they just improve on the loot tables and stuff like that, I think they'll have a good game on their hands as long as they improved on that.
Well, for me, I think there is some controversy with the CEO. I think he's come out and he's kind of been cocky. So we're not talking about it today. I don't want to get too
Oh
far into
yeah,
it. I don't want to talk too much about each game that we're talking about the announcement because we have an actual slot later in the episode for what games we are going to go in depth with. But I do know some drama with him. Is he's kind of defending we could charge whatever the hell we want for our games. You dumbasses are going to buy it. That's kind of what the community is
yeah,
getting.
I did forget about that.
Obviously, he's not saying it that bluntly, but there's kind of that discrepancy. And Borderlands is coming off of a couple of not great games, so to have that attitude, like we could shit on a plate and you'll buy it and eat it. I think that's kind of what the community is feeling. We're not. I don't want to get too much into Borderlands as well as these other games. I'm gonna move on. We got Skate coming out here too. Skate Early Access coming out here September 16th. I'm not gonna list the consoles if that's something you guys are interested in. I'm gonna link a website in the description as well. It's going to have all the releases we're talking about as well as a lot more. We're just kind of talking about the ones we're excited for and we're kind of watching and we may perchance buy depending on funds. And I'll talk about myself too when it comes to I don't like to buy games new. I usually let them wait a little bit, maybe see a couple of reviews, maybe wait for a sale. I've just been screwed over so many times by unfinished releases essentially, and so I'm skeptical to buy brand new. But yeah, Skate Early Access, I have a lot of friends that this is like the game of the year they have been waiting for. This is it. So I'm excited for them. I'm not sure if I'm going to buy it right away. We will see. But we also have Dying Light the Beast releasing September 19th. This is another one I'm kind of skeptical about because Dying Light, the original Dying Light, oh my gosh, I mean, game of the year for me, arguably top 2 for sure. The first Dying Light was incredible. I have no complaints about it, no gripes. And then Dying Light 2 came out, and my heart was kind of broken. And I don't want to go down that whole route today. We could always backtrack. I'm going to start doing individual reviews. So if I ever review Dying Light 2, I'll kind of go in depth there, I think.
Well, and honestly, we can sometimes, dedicate a podcast episode to, like, if that's what we want to do to a game and its controversies and, like, an overall review, what do we think of it and stuff too. I mean, that's an idea,
I'd be down, yeah, like live reviews come together and just kind of for the first time we all talk about it. I'd be down to do that as well.
So the next one we're going to talk about here is Jump Space. They actually had to change the name of it because of some controversy or whatever, some legal procedure or whatever. It was Jump Ship, I'm pretty sure, and they had to change the name to Jump Space. They actually released a statement about that. But it is a game coming to early access. It's supposed to release on September 19th. And it's a new co-op PvE for 1 to 4 players, and you crew a spaceship, and you can transition from crewing the ship to on-foot exploration and spacewalks. And your goal is to basically it's almost like an extraction shooter of sorts, but you have like goals and everything to take care of and whatever contracts to do and upgrade your ship and guns and whatnot, and just have fun in a PvE environment instead of something like off the top of my head, Tarkov. This one, it's kind of got the aesthetic of No Man's Sky to a degree, but I think it looks really good, and hopefully it lives up to what I'm feeling the hype for it is. I know me and a couple other people are pretty excited for it. We've been looking for a co-op game like this for a while, so I hope it's good. I think we'll move on to the next one, Lego Party, which will be Spencer.
Yes, sir. And you know, I actually didn't know about Jump Space until you mentioned it. It's actually not on the website that I have linked in the description. So I'm glad Judd's here because he went and found another game. There's so many games that really, almost every day there's a game release, and oftentimes they don't list the indie games or the small games. So that's why I like having multiple people and maybe a rotating third member to bring some extra spice, some extra knowledge to it. But this next game I'm really looking forward to. So Judd knows back in the Navy, I used to host game nights all the time. I'd invite all my coworkers, friends, everybody over. We would have, 10 plus people in our apartment, 4 or 5 TVs going, PC going, and we'd have all kinds of games, party games. And of course we're drinking and having a good time, right? But one game that has always been like one of the go-to games have been the Mario Party franchise games, I guess you could call. I got my family addicted to Mario Party Jamboree, including my girlfriend. We'll just play that game randomly by ourselves, and we'll like 2v2 the bots. But a game was announced called Lego Party, which is essentially Mario Party, but with Lego characters, Lego maps, everything Lego. But the thing that really got to me, and I hope it's not a cheap knockoff. That's my concern with this game, is if it's going to be a cheap knockoff. There's a lot of cheap Mario Party knockoffs out there that, are really cheap and just aren't all that great or unique. But Lego has a lot to it. They've partnered with just about every franchise you can imagine. I don't know if they're including a lot of those franchises in this game. I know they are including, like, I think it's Lego Ninjago or something like that. They have a couple of things they're including, but I feel like they're going to do, yeah, I feel like they're going to do a good job, and it's cheaper. It is cheaper than the Mario Party games. Mario Party games don't have a whole lot, but of course with that Mario title, that Nintendo title, $70. No ifs, ands, or buts. I think Lego Party is only going to be 40 or 50. I'd have to double check it. Yeah, so right now, if you pre-order the game, you can get it for $36 on sale. You save 10%. If you wait for it to release, it's going to be $40. No matter what, you're saving $30, $34, $35 versus a Mario Party game. And we all know Nintendo games hold their value, especially for the Switch and the Switch 2. There are 6-year-old Switch games that are still running $60, $70. It is incredible. I hate it. It's just not fun. It's hard to get people to buy it. But hopefully this Lego Party game holds up. It is releasing September 30th. I don't think I mentioned that, but it is coming out this month as well.
So Alien Rogue Incursion Evolved Edition. This is the difference that I would actually want to put out there for this one. If you're looking to play a single player horror action game, you're gonna look for Alien Rogue Incursion. I love the Alien series. It's actually one of my favorite movie series. I'm currently watching the show as it's been coming out weekly, and these games, every time a game comes out for it, I look for it and I try and give it a fair shot. Alien Rogue Incursion is no different from any of those other ones. I kept my finger on the pulse of the VR one. There's a VR version of this game that came out last year, I believe is when it came out. And I do not have VR equipment, so I did not play that. I did not get to play that, but I've seen some footage and gameplay, and it looked really good. But they are releasing the Evolved Edition, which is the actual PC release, so no VR. It's just like the actual single-player campaign. And apparently this is a 2-part story that they are telling in the games, and this one is part 1. It is $29.99 that will be coming out at the end of the month, and you're gonna play as a character with her android who got stranded on during a mission, and it's going to play out between the first 2 movies, Alien and Aliens, on a black site for Weyland-Yutani. And I think it looks really good. The graphics look pretty dang good. I think it keeps the Alien vibe that everybody wants, kind of grainy and filmy, but dark and grotesque and definitely personal. You do actually get to kill aliens and stuff in this. You have weapons and whatnot, so it's going to be interesting to play this one and see how this one works out.
I think that's going to wrap it up for September here. The Alien game is not one that I'm super keen with. This is a Judd game all the way. I'm gonna be honest. Another one I didn't know much about, but that's it for September that we are gonna talk about. Of course, once again, linked in the description. There's plenty more games coming out next month, or sorry, for this month, but we are just not really tracking them. Moving into October, October 2nd, Ghosts of Yotai. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. I'm terrible at pronouncing names for like different languages or different cultures. Like
Yotai or Yote, I'm pretty sure are either the two that I've heard.
I play a lot of Civilization, and every time you play a Civilization that's not, English, America, Australia, when you try to pronounce your city names, it's a crapshoot. So I believe it's correct. I probably could have looked it up, but this game has a little bit of controversy. But the first edition, the first entry in this franchise was a masterpiece. The first entry in the Ghosts of franchise, it was runner-up at Game of the Year. Lost to The Last of Us Part 2. A little bit of controversy with that as well. A lot of people think that The Last of Us Part 2 wasn't nearly as good as this game. Either way, PlayStation exclusive versus PlayStation exclusive. A lot of people are concerned if this is going to hold up to the first one. There's a little bit of drama that we're not going to cover in this episode, maybe in the future. About this series and this franchise, some stuff that's happened on the internet. Of course it did, right? But I think a lot of people are looking forward to this game still. The first one was a masterpiece. Arguably should have been Game of the Year. This one's probably going to hold up fairly well, I think. But it is, once again, October 2nd. Coming out here soon.
Let's lead into Battlefield 6. And I think that's something that we can both talk about here. So this game, we actually both were able to play the open beta. I'm sure a lot of people here that are going to be listening to this, or hopefully will listen to this, got to play that beta because, wow, that was... I have not participated in a lot of betas, but I will say that I really, really enjoyed it. There were some things that were issues, but they were addressed by the devs after the playtest. I think it's going to be a breath of fresh air in the Battlefield franchise. I have not played Battlefield since Battlefield 5. I played a little bit of 2042 and just I did not care for it pretty much at all. So I dropped that one. And to give a little history on my dealing with Battlefield, the first one I played was with my uncle. I played Battlefield 3 with my uncle, and I did not play... I've, to this day, never played any of the older ones like Battlefield Bad Company 2 or Bad Company.
Oh, man.
Or any of those, which I know people are going to give me crap for, and I will have to go back and play those. But my experiences with Battlefield 3 and up, and the last one being played the most was probably Battlefield 4. Battlefield 1 and 5 I did not play as much as 4.
I was going to say, Battlefield, we should have mentioned this in the beginning of the podcast. Once again, growing pains, we're kind of learning as we go. Battlefield 6, there's some Roblox drama, and then some Hollow Knights drama we're going to get into in depth here in just a little bit. So, yeah, we'll pick up Battlefield here in a little bit more. But, yeah, Battlefield 6, I feel like is one of the most anticipated games left this year. I'm going to talk about my experience. I'm going to save it for that. But, yeah, there's a lot that I want to talk about Battlefield 6.
Definitely. We'll go ahead and continue on.
It's coming out October 10th. I believe Jud said that. But yeah, it's coming out here soon. Unfortunately, man, my baby is due on October 19th. So that is about a week out from that. Good luck to me.
She might be born by then.
Yeah, we'll see. I may not be playing Battlefield 6 when it comes out. I'm also not going to be playing Little Nightmares 3 when it comes out. Coming out October 10th as well. And if I had to choose between Battlefield and Little Nightmares 3, it's probably going to be Battlefield. Little Nightmares 3, it's a highly anticipated game by a lot of people as well. I've never really gotten into the Little Nightmares franchise, though. I felt like I wanted to mention it for you guys. I know a lot of people out there like this franchise. It's just never crossed paths with me, unfortunately. It's a great franchise. Once again, I have probably the longest backlog in human history, so not going to happen. A game that I am going to clear my backlog for, or discard every other game I own for, coming out October 14th, NASCAR 25. I'm a huge NASCAR fan, both in real life and the video game series. I had a whole Let's Play series going on my channel. I have a new one coming out on my sports channel, which I just created. But I love to play NASCAR. I love to drink and drive in the NASCAR games. I know that's terrible, but
It's the
everyone
place where you can do it legally.
exactly, yeah. No one gets hurt. It's fun. I think all my
That or
friends have
Trucker
done it.
Simulator.
Exactly, truckers, mud runners. There's a lot of fun games. iRacing. People get mad if you do iRacing, but I love to do it. All my friends know I love to drink beer, blast music, and play NASCAR games. So NASCAR 25, I am looking forward to. Unfortunately, it is coming out basically the due date that my baby is going to be here. So good luck to me.
Yeah.
Might be a while. October 14th. I won't get into it. I really want to. There's some history with NASCAR games. The Heat series was just god awful. This actual game was taken over by iRacing, the people that make iRacing or sustain iRacing, and so there's a little bit of hope. All the drivers are hopeful. I'm hopeful. But we have one more game that's coming out October 21st. I'm going to let Judd take that one. This is probably Judd's most anticipated game.
Yeah, so definitely, especially with the mechanics updates for this one, I might gush a little bit on this. It's Jurassic World Evolution 3. Now, a little bit about these. I played Jurassic Park Operation Genesis. Like, oh my god, that game, it was my introduction to Park Sims when I was a little kid. And I babied the disc of that game. I was looking up videos of it 24/7, how to do cheat codes and whatever to play the game, and just trying to make a park. And I would watch. There was these old YouTubers that used to do stories with the little park guys that could walk around, because you could follow them and then like delete your HUD, so you were just following a person and whatever, and they would do like stories and stuff based on the person they were following and whatnot. And it was really cool. That was my introduction to it, and I have fallen in love with this new park sim that they've done. I played the crap out of the first one up until its completion, and then when they released Evolution 2 the year after that, which I was a little shady about them releasing 1 and 2 so close together. It seems like they put a little bit more time and care into this one, especially since they keep releasing videos on the main YouTube page, which is literally just Jurassic World Evolution. If you want to go take a look at that, where they've been releasing pretty much like weekly videos about like the new mechanics in the game, the new dinosaurs and stuff in the game. They are actually finally adding baby dinosaurs and growth cycles to the dinosaurs to the video game. So that's something that an audience has been asking for forever in these types of games, and I am so beyond excited about being able to take care of like baby dinosaurs in a family dynamic in the game. But I'm gonna stop gushing about that right now. We'll move on to the next topic, which is what games out of all these are we gonna think about copping right away, or like buying right away?
Yeah, so
if you wanted to get into that.
yeah, with all these games that we just announced, of course, there's plenty more that we didn't announce. What games that we just talked about are we, Judd? Are we thinking about copping here? I'll let you go first. What are you thinking?
Well, like I said about Borderlands 4, I'm a little skeptic about it. I think I'm gonna wait for probably either a Steam sale during the winter. If they even do one, it might be too new for them to do a sale on it. That, or I'm gonna watch some gameplay of it from YouTubers and stuff first, and to feel that one out. So probably not that. Jump Space I'll probably pick up definitely on release, I think, because I just want to play that with some family members. Alien Rogue Incursion, I'm definitely copping that right away because Alien. And then JWA I'm definitely getting. Battlefield 6, I think, even though I gushed about it and will be gushing about it still, I'm probably going to wait just because EA, and you kind of have to watch those things. Nobody's ready, willing, and able to trust EA at the moment, even though this one seems really good so far. It looks like they've done a really good job. But that's as far as it goes for me.
Yeah.
What about you, Spencer?
Yeah, I think the only two games I'm going to cop on release are going to be the Lego Party and NASCAR 25. I'm not even going to be able to play NASCAR 25 on release, but I don't care. I'm buying it anyway. I forgot to mention, it's only coming out on console initially. It is going to come out on Steam at some point, but unfortunately going to be Xbox only. Lego Party, I don't know if I have a choice. I feel like that's going to be a perfect game to take to the hospital with me and play just to pass time. So we'll probably have to take that one, have to buy that one. I'm absolutely, once again, I'm going to watch, reviews and just kind of keep up with everything. But Dying Light, The Beast, Battlefield 6, and yeah, probably those two, I'd say, to round it out. I am thinking about buying as soon as I'm able to, maybe when I get home from the hospital and, if I have free time. If is going to be the key word, because once that baby's born, man, who knows? But yeah, those are probably the four most anticipated. But gosh, I mean, a lot of these other ones, add them to the backlog. Just keep growing the backlog.
Yep. Yeah. Picking up Battlefield. So we'll go back over our personal history with Battlefield. I already went over mine a little bit, so you guys kind of get the gist of my knowledge of Battlefield and what I've dealt with. We can go over Spencer's. Right now, what all Battlefields have you played? What's your history with it? We'll start you off with that.
Oh yeah, I played a lot of them. I played Battlefield, Bad Company 1 and 2, the campaigns. I kind of missed the life cycle of the multiplayer. I kind of had to backtrack to get the campaign, so I didn't really get to fully experience that. But my best friend in high school, adamant I tried Battlefield 3. Once again, towards the end of the life cycle for the multiplayer Battlefield 3, because Battlefield 4 had just dropped. But I got addicted. Battlefield 3 was insane. He obviously didn't take much to convince me. Caught Battlefield 4. Battlefield 4 is by far my most played Battlefield of all time. Got pretty dang good at it. I was happy. It was a fun game. Just all the maps being so interactive. Every map had a personal touch. No, it wasn't like every map the same building collapses. No, one map it's a dam and the whole map floods. One map it's a whole skyscraper and then the whole city's done. Just every map felt unique and was awesome. Of course.
Oh yeah, it was insane.
Up to that point, I never had a bad experience with Battlefield. I kind of missed the what you would call it, early life cycle of the games. So EA and Battlefield have always had a bad tradition of launching their games or releasing their games incomplete, buggy, not great. But if you give it 6 months, not only is the game discounted, but it's polished. It's great. It's arguably one of the funnest games to play. But the problem is a lot of people, and this happened to me in Battlefield. Actually, I skipped Hardline. No, I didn't skip Hardline.
I think a lot of people skipped Hardline, though, to be honest, and they didn't give it a fair shot.
I pre-ordered Hardline, bought it, hated it, returned it. Probably had 6 hours in it because I went straight to multiplayer. Down the line, I bought the game again used and played the story. And the story was actually pretty cool. It was more of cops and robbers than like your all-out war Battlefield, which is where I feel like I got a lot of hate. But I pre-ordered Battlefield 1, the Seven Nations Army just blasting through the
Oh
trailer.
my god, yeah. Battlefield 1 had like the best like advertisement besides like their advertising for 6 so far. I feel like the advertising for 1 was so great, especially with the Seven Nation Army intro.
And I would argue Battlefield 1's like trailer and just hype more than 6 even. I mean, it's pretty damn close. There's a lot of hype for 6, but like the trailer, just the all around just badassness and everyone was excited for it. And then the beta came out. And as far as I know, it wasn't completely EA's fault. I believe they were getting hacked. There's a lot of stuff going on at that time. But the beta sucked. The beta just straight up sucked. It was only the desert map. It was impossible to play with friends. You were constantly getting kicked out of sessions. It was just all around a bad experience for me. But I didn't let that bug me.
I played the main portion of that game. I played was the campaign because the campaign on Battlefield 1 was just stellar. To be honest, like the multiple storylines going through those missions, getting to know those characters, and it has some of the most cinematic moments in a Battlefield campaign of any of them. And then the little bits of story pieces about World War I and the different whatever, the different plot lines and stuff you follow and little things you learn about World War I and the situations and different sides of the battle. It was awesome to learn those different things, and I think it added such a really nice touch to the game and made it super good to play. Yeah. The multiplayer was pretty good. Getting all those old weapons and stuff, playing around with those was really nice. They felt good to play with, and I really was hoping that Battlefield 5 was going to be the same way, and I think it kind of felt flat comparatively. There was only one complaint that I really had about Battlefield 1, and that was during one of the campaign missions where you get like a double barrel. I think it was the Rising, which has the double barrel, and then it has a rifle slot in the middle, a rifle barrel in the middle. So that gun actually glitched out and the barrel disappeared, so you couldn't fire it. Like the gun just stopped working. So like I had to pick up a whole completely new weapon. That's really the only complaint I had about the game, and it was literally just the one time. I don't know if they patched that ever or whatever, but yeah, we'll move on and talk a little bit more about Battlefield 6.
Well, I'm not quite, because I didn't want to finish.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had one more thing.
Yeah,
I was trying to explain like my
yeah.
history with Battlefield, because it is leading into the one of the next things. Battlefield 1 beta, absolutely hated it. Like you said, the campaign, insane, hooked me right back in. But the multiplayer sucked. Day one, multiplayer was garbage. I think there was only one map. I only ever got the desert map where everyone just sat on the edge of the map and then sniped any asshole that decided to go to the center. They supposedly had other maps, but it just never queued me in them in any of those, so that sucked. Battlefield 5, I was hesitant to buy brand new. I had some iffy history with it. Once again, upon launch, it sucked. But you give it 6 months and it's a great game. And then Battlefield, whatever the hell we got recently, whatever you want to call that. And so I'm skeptical about Battlefield 6. The beta was absolutely fun. I had a great time, excluding the secure boot drama. I fell victim to it. I do have a pre-built. I'm not going to go into BIOS and fuck with all that just for an anti-cheat. Especially when we're going to get into this a little bit more. There's already cheaters in the beta. That was a huge thing on Twitter. People were like openly promoting, like, "Hey, look, I'm cheating! Ha 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 ha! You just suck." We'll get into that. I'm gonna let Jud take back over about the Battlefield 6 closed beta. But my history, to sum it up with Battlefield, dog shit releases, great games if you give it a little bit of time.
Yeah, and that's something I'm going to talk about with this beta. It was so good, it was suspicious. And I think that was a common theme from everybody I've seen and heard from. They said that it was so good that it made them want to pre-order it, but it was, and they were like suspicious of the fact that it was actually like as good as it was, especially for a closed beta. Now, it should have been as polished as it was because they were coming upon release. And one thing I actually want to go over for it, a lot of people, we were going to talk about cheaters and stuff. One thing I saw complaints about for the beta and whatever was the fact that they didn't have any like super big maps. The only map that was semi-big was the mountain range map. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. I never understood that because they had a lineup of maps that were going to be released for on launch, and Operation Firestorm is on that list. And people were complaining, well, why are all these maps so small and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, does nobody remember Battlefield 3 and 4 where that map was like huge and each spawn had a place where the jets could actually take off from a runway instead of spawning in the air? So I didn't understand that gripe. That was something that I didn't understand about people complaining about map size and whatnot. Yeah, the ones we got in the beta were small. I thought they played really well. The only one I didn't really care for all that much was New York. I thought it had way too many sightlines on it, and that's kind of a Battlefield thing in the first place. There's a lot of sightlines and stuff. I love the fact that you can go into all sorts of buildings in that one, but I thought some of the spawn camping that could be done from some of those areas was a little insane and intense in some ways. That's one thing I actually want to point out in the mountain map for the closed beta was the fact that one side's spawn was pretty clearly visible because it was lower, and then another one's spawn was blocked off by an entire mountain, so or an entire point, so at the top of a mountain, so you couldn't see into it unless you were at the top and had captured that point. Either way, I think the spawns in that one, they need a little retweaking, maybe some more cover and stuff, because they, to be honest, do not have any sort of protection. The one at the top of the mountain range, you could easily be at the sniper's nests in the encampment there at the fob, and just aim right into their spawn. And the other one, a lot less people went to that one because that side had an easier time taking points, because they had such a beeline straight access to some of those points. I think C C was a deadlock on that map too, for the most part. But that's neither here nor there. Overall, I want to say that this beta was like really, really good. I'm hopeful for the main game when it comes out. I hope that the campaign that they release is compelling and good. The weapons all felt really nice to play, and I really actually enjoyed the gunplay that they had. I'm glad that they're tuning down the movement. That's something that I actually wanted to talk about. The movement.
Yeah, I
I'm so sick and tired of COD players and their COD movement, slide canceling, jump, bunny hopping, whatever. I'm so tired of it. Spencer, you had something to say?
yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to butt in here because I don't know. We're still trying to figure out the format here. How I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but no. Yeah, the Battlefield 6 experience, like you said, it was unexpectedly good. It was like almost scary. Like I know they're coming off the biggest flop in Battlefield history, and so you kind of knew
Yeah.
this was like a do or die moment for them. When Battlefield 6 gets announced, the number one thing trending is do not pre-order. You know that's scary, but
Yeah.
the Battlefield beta really did impress. In all the complaints, but like you said about the map and stuff, it's a beta. You're not going to get the full game. That's the entire point of a beta.
Yeah.
It's to test. I think you're spot on with the movement. The only people mad about the movement being tweaked are obviously your streamers,
Well, yeah, that and
abusers, and
cheaters.
yeah, Battlefield's not
Yeah.
supposed to be a movement madness type of game. It's supposed to be an all-out brawl. I feel like you're not supposed to abuse movement to win battles. You're supposed to
Yep.
use strategy. You work as a squad, work as a team. You're not supposed to go out there and be a one-man army and take out everybody.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
yeah, and when I played the beta too, I had a iffy experience with the beta because I had that whole secure boot drama. Installed it on PC. I was so excited. Everyone was on playing, and then that happened, and I tried to figure it out. I just didn't want to go too far into BIOS, but I downloaded it on Xbox. The only problem is, by the time it was done downloading, I was the only asshole on, and so I had to play it without friends, unlike all my other friends who played it with each other. So that kind of stunk. Despite playing alone, it was really cool to see how everyone in the squad chose a different job. We had one guy that was
Yep.
only going for vehicles. You had the sniper, you had the medic, and then you had my dumbass running around with a machine gun, just trying to gun people down. It was cool. It felt like Battlefield. It gave me Battlefield 4 vibes, which I cannot stress enough. That means a lot because I did not get those vibes with Battlefield 1. I didn't get it with 5. I hated 5. It's better now. Credit where credit's due, but upon launch, Battlefield 5 stunk. I didn't even play the last Battlefield. I don't even want to say its name. If you guys can't tell, I'm intentionally not saying
Yeah.
the name of it. It doesn't deserve to be called a Battlefield. Overall, yeah, I'm excited for this new Battlefield game. I know we kind of talked about. I don't think I'm going to pick it up upon launch just because I got a baby due about the same time. But after seeing some clips, some footage, and all that, I think I'm going to cop it, especially with Jud if he gets it, and we're going to
Yeah.
have to squad back up.
I think, like I said, yeah, I'm probably gonna wait for a couple of videos to come out on release and whatnot. I'll stay close tuned to that one. But I think the inevitability of me getting it is probably pretty high, especially since I was so glad to get back into a Battlefield shooter and enjoy playing the game, even if I was losing my ass off. If I could go Desmond Doles on it and just one more, I just wanted to get one more, on the revives and everything, oh, going Hacksaw Ridge on everything, man, that was so much fun. Hey, props to everybody that was reviving out there. And I just want to put that out there. Revive your damn teammates. If you got the ability to revive your teammates. It helps the effort.
I know that was kind of a funny meme or drama. I don't think it was drama. I think people are just more making fun of it. But yeah, you're just
Oh yeah.
you get gunned down and just the entire team's just trampling over you. Just, come on, man. What are we doing? No, yeah, it was fun. Getting into, I guess, the drama of the beta is
Yes.
really the only drama.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people complaining, little things, but nothing major. Most things were gripes, and I wouldn't take too serious because it's a beta, like
Yeah.
the map thing. But the big drama here is going to be the cheating scandal. Now, I've been complaining about secure boot. I think it's dumb. Obviously,
Yeah.
I got called a cheater. They're like, "Oh, you're just a cheater. You're mad you can't cheat anymore." No, I switched to Xbox. I don't want to go and try accidentally brick my PC for a fucking anti-cheat that doesn't even work. And it did.
Yeah.
There was people bragging on Twitter, X, Instagram, wherever they post the live stream. They were technically live streaming when it happened, and then they made montages of so-called the AIM community. But everyone has since come out and been like, "Yeah, definitely not aiming. And I'm gonna overlay some of the
which
clips.
I've never heard that used before. That terminology, the AIM community, has never been used before, at least as far as I know.
So the thing is, I'm going to play the clips over the screen here over our game and let you decide for yourself. Some people, even pros, came to the defense of these guys, but the AIM community, I would consider it a real thing. It's kind of a niche community, kind of like the speedrun community. Everyone knows the speedrun community, but not everyone is in the speedrun community. There are people out there, including pros, that they just try to hit weird flicks and to make clips out of it. Like they just kind of guess where an enemy's going to be and just flick. And it takes some practice. It's hard to do. If done right, it is impressive, but that's not what these people were doing. It's clear as day. You look at pro gameplay and when they do their flicks and like they're accurate, they're good, but it's not aimbot. I mean, if you look at a video of aimbot on a Battlefield game, or more likely COD, there's more aimbot on COD, I would say. And then you compare these clips on Twitter of these people claiming to be in the AIM community. Oh, they're just better. They're the exact same. If you go and you put a video of people in the so-called AIM community that hit these random flicks and hit, shots and stuff, and then you put these so-called non-cheaters, it doesn't look the same. It's a laser beam.
Yeah.
Everything. And the thing that I think drove me up a wall, obviously the secure boot drama, because I couldn't play on PC because of secure boot, because it's so-called the best anti-cheat ever. But
I will. So I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, and we'll continue on with that. I do not. So the thing is they banned and soft banned over 300,000 people from the beta. They released those numbers. The EA did. So I think it was actively working. However, it was very evident that there were some that were getting through and whatnot, and that's the issue that I think Spencer has an issue with the most. And I'm not going to speak for you, but I think that's what you're trying to get at, is like it was getting people, but it wasn't enough. And it was very evident that these communities and stuff that you're seeing online were just totally bragging about the fact that they were cheating and getting away with it, or in some cases, like I mean, I'm gonna say the name Riley CS is the big ticket issue here, and I think that person was cheating. I think they were using soft aim hacks. That way it was almost indecipherable from real flicks, because it's trained to act as close to a human as possible. It's not even about the flicks. That's not the point of the hack. The hack is not the flicks. They can flick just fine. Flicking on someone, totally fine. The subtle aim corrections that are almost indecipherable to the human eye is what we're trying to get at here. That is the hack. It subtly adjusts to hit the hitbox. They could be off by a few millimeters or whatever, by a frame on their aim, but it subtly corrects your aim. That's what that soft aim bot does, and that's what they were accused of using, and it was called out. And I'm gonna name the YouTube channel that goes into depth on this. It's a YouTube channel called Call of Shame. They've gotten into a little bit of controversy about like their claims and whatnot, but they explained their reasoning and why they know that it's hacks and stuff, and I think it's the most in-depth you're going to see from anybody that's not these streamers and whatever that they lined a defense up for this person, Riley CS. And I think Call of Shame goes over everything very succinctly about the situation, and so I'm not going to go super into depth about it. I'm going to let you guys go take a look at those videos and deduce for yourself whether or not you think it's cheating. You should also take a look at the actual clips and stuff from that person. EA did actively soft ban them. They were not allowed the second weekend to get access to the beta using their main account. They would just get kicked every game, so they had to use an alt account. But this is also a person who's had a history of cheating. They have been banned from other games for cheating, so take that as you may. And don't just go join the majority of people just because they lined up a list of YouTubers and ex-pros to come to their defense, and really call into question actually the ethics of their gameplay and if they've been banned in the past and stuff, and take a look at that. I do not promote discrimination or anything against any of these people, but I do call out cheating when I see it, and I hate cheating. So that's really what I want to call out here.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead. I'll
Uh,
play some clips too of that channel you mentioned that called them out and went in depth. I recommend watching that too because they're probably going to be able to talk about it better than I can. But what you were saying is, and I agree, it's the bragging, the blatant cheating, and then they're bragging about it, and then you said
Yep.
no discrimination. Well, let's bring that up. Why? I'll let you take it. Why would you say that?
Well,
Riley CS.
they came to their defense a lot because they are part of the LGBTQ community, and that a lot of people ran to their defense immediately because of that, and they didn't care rhyme or reason what the deal was. They just cared that they were a part of that community and immediately defended them no matter what, if they were wrong or right. I don't care if you're a part of that community. I have friends and family that are a part of that community, and they're great people. I do not care. What I care about is that you're defending someone for something that they are clearly guilty of, or haven't taken 2 seconds to look into if they are guilty of, and instead you just blatantly follow them and agree with them just because of a life choice or a personality trait or something like that. That's basically the gist of it. I think these people that came to their defense immediately, and some of them impersonating devs on the game, trying to impersonate developers of the game, saying that they weren't cheating, is totally wrong because EA soft banned them. EA didn't even post any of their highlight reels, even though some of their reels were worthy of it, and they posted other people that were playing close proximity to this person.
I wanted to pass it to
Yeah.
Judd because I know when this was going on, like live, this is a little bit of old news, but when this was happening, like in the real time, dude was mad. Because to sum it up, yeah, I mean, blatant cheating. No one, these clips, everyone's broke it down. They were soft banned. It's official. They're cheating. You cannot come out and try to defend them. It's just, you're being ignorant. But that's what people did because of their, I guess,
I'd say affiliation.
I would say things outside of gaming because of their sexual preference, because of their personal life. People are coming to defend them. Oh, they're not cheating. You're just hating on them because of this. That's not what happened. People were mad, especially me, because I could not play on PC because of the secure boot crap. And then I log on and someone's openly bragging about cheating. And I was mad. I like, really? I can't play, but we were just going to let these cheaters play and then openly kind of promote them too. Luckily, it came back to bite them in the ass. They got that soft ban. And we'll see if they're going to be allowed to play the real launch. I have a feeling that they're going to be chased down by EA and continually banned. We can only hope. But yeah, that was a big drama during the beta. But it doesn't really affect the game. In no way, shape, or form does this affect the launch. I think EA is doing the right thing. I think they're doing a good job. And with that, I guess we'll move on because we could probably go on for a while. We already kind of talked about it. We're going to buy Battlefield 6. Probably wait a week or two and just see how things go.
Yeah, I think so, but I think it's definitely one of those almost immediate buys. I want to wait for like maybe a couple of videos to come out. Like max I'll wait is a couple days because I do want to get in and grind those guns.
Yeah. Once I get home and if I have free time, once I get home from the hospital and if I have free time, I'm absolutely going to be looking to buy it. But with that, yeah, that's Battlefield, man. Battlefield 6 coming out here very soon. I guess not very soon. We still got about a month, October 10th, but it's coming up fast, and I am anticipating it. I am excited. Moving on, Judd's got more drama here, Roblox drama, and he's gonna have to fill me in on this one because I know very little. I know like bits and pieces. I know the general consensus of the drama, but I don't know all the little lawsuits and stuff going on. So I'm gonna start this off by saying I do know probably more than Spencer, but I am still not completely informed on the situation. So to jump into this, what the gist is we're going through Roblox. We're going to talk about the situation that's ongoing with them, the child endangerment allegations and stuff against them, and the company. One of the big things I want to talk about is they did feel a hit from this. They took a $12 billion dip in their stocks during this escapade, but they've almost completely healed and over healed that blemish.
since all of this has started coming out, probably close to a month and a half ago. So basically what the gist of the drama is, right? Roblox has been accused for years and years and years. Roblox has been accused since 2014 of child endangerment and stuff. And like there's multiple allegations and stuff. There's pedophiles that have been convicted and people that have actually been convicted of serious crimes and stuff related to talking to minors and stuff on the game. And the developers and stuff, they just actively ignore it. The CEO is creepy. He was actively suggesting making a portion of the site or the platform dedicated to dating. He's going to turn half of the platform into a dating site, and he was going to make it 17 plus. That's what he was trying to push. 17 plus. I don't know about you, but in the United States law, 17 is still a minor.
I'm not defending it, right? I agree. I think 18 plus. First off, I think dating in Roblox is probably the dumbest thing ever. I see what you're going for. You're trying to say 18. I know in some state, you're looking at federal versus state laws, right? And it's just, it's a creepy.
Some state laws allow even 16, but that's Romeo and Juliet laws and with the parents' approval and stuff. But that's case by case basis.
And is it something a video game should be doing? Probably not, right?
No.
That's kind of what you're getting at. Because I know some people are going to be, well, in this state, it's 60. It shouldn't matter, dude. Like, you shouldn't.
It shouldn't matter. Honestly, if they wanted to federalize the law, I'd be okay with federalizing an age of consent law across the United States for it to be 18, because that's when you're legally allowed to enlist in the military. You know, but that's besides the point, right? And the thing is, we know about. It's gotten to the point that they've started banning so-called air quotes vigilantes from the platform, like Schlep, who is one of the biggest creators about this. They sent him a cease and desist letter in email and banned all of his accounts. They IP banned all of his accounts, so he is no longer allowed to play that game whatsoever. He wasn't even a vigilante. He was actively working with police departments, and he has led to 6 actual real-world arrests of no-shit pedophiles. Why are you banning this person? He's not a vigilante. He's working with the police department. He's doing things that you won't do actively.
Yeah. To add on, sorry, we're going to get better at this, going back and forth. Summarize the drama is they're going after like these vigilantes, these people that are trying to find weirdos and creeps in their game, but they're not going after the weirdos and the creeps. And this is a little bit older of news. Once again, first podcast. We've been kind of sitting on this for a while, but it's not a good look for Roblox, and it's the fact that they have kind of doubled down on this. They're kind of protecting these weirdos and creeps.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing is like they are literally actively defending these people, and their CEO is kind of becoming one of those people where it's like, okay, do we need to investigate this person because he keeps saying these things and he's not doing anything? And one of the things I took a look at recently, I was watching some videos on this, and I'm gonna recommend them. One of the videos I watched was Penguins Z0's video on. He's done a couple videos on the Roblox scandals starting probably a couple weeks ago. So if you want, go take a look at those videos. All you have to do is look up Penguin Z0 Roblox, and you'll be able to find those. Law with Mike is one of the other ones that I was looking into. He is actively suing. He has a suit filed against Roblox for child endangerment and not doing their part to uphold their rules and regulations for child safety on their platform. And then the bigger version of this is, and something that I don't think is getting enough coverage, is the fact that the entire state of Louisiana, the Attorney General of Louisiana, is filing a lawsuit against Roblox for child endangerment. Roblox did make a return statement for that, denying and trying to clear up some misconceptions about that. I haven't read into that, so I'm not going to try and get into that. They did make a statement recently about the lawsuit from Louisiana. I think it's insane that an entire state is now taking action against a multi-billion-dollar company, and they still do not want to take action. They have backlogs of calls and reports. Their staff for these complaint centers and stuff for like reporting all of these instances of child safety violations, they are understaffed even compared to like a platform like Twitter, which has like over 3 times the staff that they do, and it's a platform that sees less activity than Roblox. How are you going to deny that you're not doing anything when it's very obvious that you are not doing something to protect the children here?
There's a lot of legal stuff going into this, and like I said, I don't know all too much about it. Only time will tell. But one thing, it doesn't matter if you want to get into the legal mumbo jumbo. Yeah, you probably want to do your research and get caught up on it. But
well, definitely.
Let me
that's
tell you
why
something you can do that won't take much time at all. Go onto Roblox and find a very, very young kid getting verbally abused or creeped on. It's going to take you 5 minutes. You load up Roblox right now, and you're going to find kids way too young to be playing without supervision, and you're going to find weirdos. I played Roblox. I have Roblox funny moments on my main channel, right? And I usually play the weather survival, and we just mess around. We don't ever go that far, but every time you hop on that game, it's weird. There's so many clips out there too. You can go on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you get your clips. And there's just so many clips of very, very young kids, even just being around profanity, let alone the actual creeps and stuff. Something needs to change is kind of how I feel about it. I know one thing's for sure. My kids are never going to play Roblox unsupervised, or at least with voice chat on. I feel like a lot of this has really picked up since they've allowed voice chat a couple of years ago. Back in the day, Roblox never had voice chat, actually. Their text chat was very highly moderated. There was a lot of words you could not say, but they added voice chat, and now it's kind of a free-for-all. And I think that's where a lot of these problems are coming into play. But
and a lot of their claim is that all of these vigilantes are the reason that they want to kick these people off their platform is because they think that they're actively causing more child endangerment because they are dragging kids off of their platform to endanger them and stuff, or simulating child endangerment acts, which goes against their TOS. And that is totally not the case. They're just lying out their ass about this. They just don't want to lose the player count, which is insane because they have the highest concurrent player count in the world. It's like over 47 million.
Yeah, one thing's for sure. I just wouldn't trust young children on that game unsupervised. But have you ever seen the video of a day in the life of a Roblox employee? Did you ever see that video? Did that ever come across your feed?
No, I did not.
So I'm not going to play it on this because I don't want to get copyrighted or anything. But after this, you're going to have to watch that, and you're going to have to talk about that sometime because it's going to blow your mind.
Yeah.
It's fun. There's not a single minute or a single second in that video of them actually like doing works or any sort of work. It's just them like, we start off the day getting a coffee, and time to get a snack, and time to go. Like, it's like Roblox is like a giant like college rec center, and like the whole video was them going around doing anything but working. I thought it was funny. I don't know if it was actually true Roblox or anything like that, but I remember I just saw it, and I laughed and I scrolled. I didn't think much of it, but that's kind of how I view like, oh, there's children being endangered. I could go for another like donut. The snack stand's open. Yeah, let's go check that. Like, that's kind of how I view. Like, they haven't done much. Right now, log on to Roblox. You're gonna see a kid getting abused in some way. Not good. Don't let your kids play Roblox. I don't know. Is there much more? That's kind of.
Yeah. No. Literally, just apparently it's somewhere around like 50 to 75% of America's children have played Roblox or actively play Roblox, and I think that number is just insane considering the child safety allegations that are out there. Like, how are you not, as a parent, on the finger on the pulse of this type of thing and actively engaging your kids and like talking to them, hey, you need to be safe, this is how you be safe, or just completely telling them, hey, play another game with your friends, do not play Roblox. Minecraft is safer to play for children than Roblox is at this point.
It can be, yeah.
Just don't play with a YouTuber.
Yeah, no, right. It definitely depends, like who you play with, what servers, and all that stuff. But yeah, Roblox is scary. With that though, I think we have a game that Jud really didn't even know until coming here today. And I am ashamed to admit it. I never played the first one. Hollow Knight. I never played the first one.
Yeah.
I won't even lie to you.
I haven't even played it.
It's not even in my backlog until now. It's one that just kind of slipped through the cracks, and I just never thought much of. But then Hollow Knight Silksong came out, and what a surprise it is. It is on my to-do list. The first one is first. After I beat Clair Obscur, I want to play the first Hollow Knight, followed by the second one. It's on the backlog now. This game, it's not just the gameplay itself that drew me in. It's just the story behind this game. The developers, Team Cherry.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot we could go in about Team Cherry that I think is deservingly to talk about them. In the original creator of Hollow Knight, there's a whole lot about all that. We're going to skip that for now because this episode I think is already running a little bit long. I got to give them flowers. I'm sorry. They deserve to be talked about more. But this game was released on Steam, the Nintendo Switch 1 and 2, the original Switch and the second one, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and the Xbox Series S and X. It was released just recently on September 4th. Didn't even allow pre-orders because it was basically announced and released within a week. Despite that, there was enough people to buy this game. It crashed Steam and the Nintendo Shop. I didn't know it crashed the Nintendo Shop. I know it crashed Steam because that was trending all over Twitter and whatnot, but Nintendo Shop too. And I have an article, and I'll put that up on screen as well. That's insane. This is considered an indie company, an indie game, but it's going to sell enough copies upon launch to not only crash Steam, but the Nintendo Shop. Without pre-orders, without being announced, like this wasn't announced, months ahead of time. Like people weren't planning for this. Was announced like virtually the day before. It's like, hey, this game's going up. Everyone's flooding the stores. It peaked with over 555,000 concurrent players on Steam. Does not that does not factor in the Nintendo Switch 1 and 2, PS4 and 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X. So all those consoles combined, not included in that 555,000. And all I have to say is, indie versus AAA, what are we doing? What the hell?
Yeah.
Let's take I would say one of the most anticipated AAA Ubisoft. This is the Ubisoft game of the year. This is their big launch of the year. Assassin's Creed Shadows. Guess what their concurrent max player count was on Steam for Assassin's Creed? Do you have a guess?
Probably somewhere around. It was under 100,000. I know that.
Yeah, from what I could tell, what I could find, it's just over 63,000. Just over 63 for active concurrent players. Now that's tough. It's tough to compare just Steam players versus there's all these other consoles to add in and to factor in. Assassin's Creed, I feel like, has always kind of been a Xbox and PlayStation game. I feel like they get most of their players on console. I think that's fair to say. But the fact you're telling me, if 65,000 on Steam, you're telling me Xbox and PlayStation for Assassin's Creed Shadow is going to make up, what's that, 490,000 players? And I failed to mention this. 555,000 on Steam within 2 hours of its launch.
Yeah.
Day one. This isn't a day or two into it. This is immediately. While Assassin's Creed.
This was it was literally number one most favorited, most followed game on Steam for I think since it was announced, which was it's been a year and a half since the actual announcement of the game. Or more.
I think the original announcement was earlier this year. I don't have the original announcement, but it didn't come with a release day. The release day was announced virtually right before the release. But what I think is impressive, and people are going to defend this, and there's so many conversations, there's so many things. The big question was why? Why is this game selling? I mean, this game is easily cleared 1 million copies by now. It took Assassin's Creed days to hit its peak because it released, and it took until the weekend, but that was it. It peaked at 63, and it took Assassin's Creed, I believe, a couple of weeks. I should have looked this up for you, and I apologize, but it took Assassin's Creed a couple of weeks to reach 1 million sales. This game did it easily, I would imagine, within 24 hours. And it's
if
only
I
gone
had
up.
to guess, with all consoles included, it reached over 1 million within a few hours.
Oh yeah, and people are asking how? Why is this indie game doing this? Why is it able to sell millions of copies while franchises?
Because of the love and passion put into it. They cared about the game.
That's something. But I think it's a ton of factors. I think download size is going to play a factor. You look at Assassin's Creed, it's going to be. So I should have looked this up before. I just did it now. Assassin's Creed is just over 100 gigabytes to download, while Silksong is 8. We live in an age where I feel like storage is a battle for downloading games. A lot of people, 10 years ago, we used to have 30 games downloaded on our PC, 50 games downloaded on our Xbox at any given moment. Now it's like you have to choose two AAA games. You can have 2 maybe, or you can have 30.
Yeah,
30
before it
indie
starts
games.
to bog down your processing and everything.
Exactly. Yeah, just downloading the game. Hey, Assassin's Creed dropped. Cool. I'm gonna download it. I can play it next week. No one has internet that slow, but I mean, it takes a while for those games to download. Hollow Knight. Hey, the game dropped and it's installed. I think that's gonna play a factor. B, like you said, love and passion. I mean, this game was made with love and passion for the fans. They didn't go and include stuff that has absolutely nothing to do with the game. That's a factor. I think a lot of indie games do that. But where this one stands out, and this created a little bit of drama with this game specifically, Hollow Knight only cost $20. I mean, first off, how many copies it sold times $20? They're going to be fucking billionaires. It's incredible how many copies of Hollow Knight have sold, and then the second one immediately blew up. But I also ask, and going back to the financial side of things, a $20 indie game it's not a short little game that it'll take you 15 minutes to complete. From what I can tell, it is a longer game that is going to take you a little while to beat versus Assassin's Creed, which is another longer game. It's going to take you a little while to beat, but it costs $70. $70 versus $20. I compiled a list here. Some of these are kind of party games with friends and whatnot, but some of the most popular games of the year that have blown up, you can buy Hollow Knight Silksong.
Under 20.
Yeah, Hollow Knight Silksong for $20, Repo for $10, Peak for $8, Lethal Company for $10, for a grand total of $48. You're still saving, I'll even round up, $50. You're still saving $20 versus you bought Assassin's Creed. If you love Assassin's Creed, if that's the greatest thing to you, you just love those games, you're not worried about spending $70. But if I can buy 4 extremely fun games, 3 of them with friends, for $50 versus I can play one game by myself, Assassin's Creed. And Assassin's Creed doesn't even have multiplayer nowadays, so it's a single player game that you can play by yourself if you'd like. But it's just $70 for AAA slop, and I'm gonna go there, right? I don't want to get into the rant about Ubisoft today. I absolutely despise Ubisoft.
Yeah.
There's all this drama to come with this specific Assassin's Creed game. I'm not even gonna get into it. It's old news. It was covered in drama. There's a lot of good criticism of this game. $70. Congrats, you got a single player game, 100 something gigabytes. Or you can go and buy 4 games, have $20 left over to go find a 5th game.
And you can install them all at the same time, and they'll be done within 20 minutes.
To me, it's night and day, man. These guys care for their fans. They're small games. This is what we want. When we load into Repo, we know exactly what we're going to get. There's no bullshit. They encourage modding. The best part about Repo is you can go in and mod. Peak, let's talk about Peak. You absolutely love this game. People were complaining, or not complaining, but people were requesting some obnoxious stuff. People are like, hey, why can't we eat each other? And they're like, that's dumb. We'll add it. Like, that is awesome, man. You go to Ubisoft, you're like, hey, can the game actually work when it launches? And Ubisoft is like, yep.
Best we can do is slop.
Yeah, best we can do is piss in your mouth. That to me is the difference between AAA. And I was joking with one of my coworkers who's actually also a part of TK Gaming here. But we were joking, let's stop calling these companies like Ubisoft AAA. Let's call them like triple B, triple C, triple D, dude. They do not deserve to be called A. They are not an A grade company. And I will go on this rant. I'm fired up. They're dog shit. Triple D, man. They're triple D.
They're triple A and trying to gain money. That's all they are.
Yeah, they're a corporate. All they do, they're just pumping titles. There's no love. There's no passion. This is the argument in gaming right now. We just had a price increase for most new games going from $60 to $70 within the last couple of years. They're already arguing, oh, you guys, we're going back to Borderlands here. You guys will buy this game if it's $80, if it's $90, if it's $100. You will buy it because you love this brand. You will do it no matter what. And then we have,
which is not true.
No, it's not true.
Yeah, that's so far from the truth. You got to think, like, that's the thing. These it's not even developers. I don't even want to say it's developers' faults. It's CEOs and these marketing companies and stuff.
Yeah.
That put these franchises and stuff out there. I feel so bad for the developers. I'm sure a lot of them want to implement their talents and time into these games, and they just get put on these deadlines that are unreasonable and stuff. And I think that's why a lot of these AAA games and franchises have gone to the wayside so much, is because the developers aren't allowed to put any passion into them anymore. I think they're set to these deadlines that these CEOs and stuff give them, because they want to make a profit margin and make a profit for investors and stuff, and that's all they give a shit about anymore.
I think you're exactly right.
They don't give a shit about the consumer. They don't give a shit about their developers. They just want money, and they want it now.
I think you're exactly right.
And the easiest way for them to do that is live update type games and or live service type games, and gacha type stuff, and paid for content and whatever, like Fortnite type stuff, like battle passes and whatnot. And I think that's so shit. I think it's why gaming is in the state that it's in currently. I'm not saying it's bad, but I know it's not good. And I think like there's just a lot could be done. And I think these indie developers are sticking it to the man, basically. It's the new age sticking it to the man because they succeed while others go to the wayside. And it's very evident in these games like Repo, Peak, and Lethal Company, and then things like Silksong, and others that I could name probably too that I just can't right now off the top of my head.
I was going to say, I think you're spot on. And the question is, okay, so these developers can't do what they want. They're forced to meet these deadlines to just push basically for the board of, or the financial people, the people that are going to make money from the games. Why do they stay? And the truth is, and I don't know this for sure, but my guess is it doesn't matter. Ubisoft is going to pay its developers more than indie companies. That's fact.
Yep.
Their benefits, everything. You want to work at Ubisoft because you're going to get paid. You don't have creative freedom. I feel like you're just going to show up, do your 9 to 5.
Your voice isn't going to get heard.
Yeah.
But it's a 9 to 5 that's actually more solid in the volatile job market that is game developers,
Versus, indie,
versus indie developing.
You're probably in indie, and this is a story time and time again with these successful games. You're going to put in more hours with less pay, more than likely, and it's going to be a gamble. Nothing's ever guaranteed. And so I feel like that's why they stay. So yeah, don't blame the developers.
Yeah.
I will never do that, but it's just the greed of really the corporate companies here, like Ubisoft. And I don't want to call them AAA anymore. Like in this pod, we should do that. Everyone on here, triple D.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like I don't want to, and I'll amend my statement to don't blame developers. You can blame some developers. Some developers have made their attitudes very shitty online and stuff. They're very they're advocates for some of these things that these companies push and whatnot. And I would say don't support those people. Those people are snakes in the fish barrel. And they're the ones that kind of poison the well. But overall, a lot of developers, they're talented people that want to create games out of the passion that they have for it, but they get shoved and pushed down because they have to abide by some stupid corporate deadline.
Yeah, and also you can really tell who those devs are when they are defending the company, they're against the AAA, they're against the consumer. Look at the companies they work for. It's like, okay, I saw that coming.
I understand where you're coming from.
There are some companies that are just kind of a lost hope at this point. I would say there's some that I just like, kind of Ubisoft. I would almost put in that category. I would have said EA 2 years ago. I'm seeing EA take a turn, not just with Battlefield, with college football, the return of college football. They have crushed that.
Yeah.
Madden, this year the Madden's broken. Madden's always going to be broken. I know that, but they are making changes. It's not a copy and paste from last year, and I'm going to give them a little bit of credit for that. There's a lot more to say about EA and stuff. I mean, really just AAA versus indie. But what's crazy, though, is Silksong was so successful that it actually created a rift in two ways. A, with indie versus indie, there are supposedly indie developers, indie companies that are complaining about Silksong's success. The fact that, A, it was so cheap that now it is basically screwing over the entire indie market. Hey, I can't charge $30, $40 for my indie game anymore because this game's way better than my indie game, and they charge only $20.
Right.
I think that's horseshit. I think you can charge what you want if your game's worth it. You shouldn't be charging more than your game's worth, first of all.
Definitely. I definitely think that pricing should be at the value of the game itself. Replayability, immersion, like how immersed are you? Do you care about these characters? Story is like a big thing for pricing of a game. How long? How much time are you getting out of it? What's the replayability of it? Are you able to pick it back up again and put it down again and like still enjoy it the same as when you first got it? I think that's a big portion of
we'll talk the most important
pricing in a game.
The most important factor is copies sold, right? All right, congrats. Let's say Hollow Knight this second Hollow Knight game, Silksong, never came out. I'm an indie developer, and I was going to release my game for $40. Once again, Silksong didn't come out, so don't worry about the $20 curve here. I'm charging $40. Congrats, I sold 100,000 copies. Because a lot of people aren't going to pay $40 for an indie game that A, they've never heard of the company for, B, they don't have a connection with or anything of the sort. 100,000 copies, all right? That's 400,000, right? Times 40.
Yeah.
So that's not bad, 400,000. Now let's say I fell Silksong. All right, Silksong came out. I make the game $20. There are a lot more people out there that are willing to risk $20 versus $40. And now instead of 100,000 copies sold, I've sold 250,000. That's kind of an argument to be had too, that I don't think a lot of these people are realizing. And I think AAA is losing this battle because people are not willing to risk $70, $80, $90, $100 for a game that a lot of these companies have historically just not fully finished. They're slop. AAA slop for a reason. People aren't
and
willing
sometimes
to
they don't even get better. Sometimes they just stay slop until the end of their life cycle, which sometimes is only a year.
Exactly.
I mean, let's look at the Call of Duty franchise. They release a slop game every single year, and people are literally finally tired of it. They went to, and I don't mean to go off on a tangent, I'm literally going to end it with this too. The advertisements that we've seen for Call of Duty Black Ops 7, in the advertisements I've seen on Instagram for that, everybody in the comments is like, thanks for this ad. It makes me want to go buy or pre-order Battlefield 6.
I've seen those memes too. Unfortunately, I say unfortunately because I'm not a big fan of COD. I think Call of Duty pre-sales or pre-orders have surpassed the Battlefield 6 pre-orders, and that's a whole other conversation. I'm gonna skip. We'll save that for another day. My thing is Call of Duty.
We'll definitely keep that for another day.
Yeah, no matter what, Call of Duty is gonna sell. It's transcended.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate. It transcends any bad publicity that they're gonna get.
Exactly. But that's a conversation to be had for another day. Getting back into it, I am willing. When you said, "Hey, buy Peak," it's $8. Say no more, dude. I don't give a shit what type of game it is.
Yeah.
I'm willing to risk $8. You told me, "Hey, dude, buy Assassin's Creed." I'm going to tell you to pack sand. Like that is essentially what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I could gush about Peak 2, but I'm not going to. that game, I hop into it, do a run with your friends late at night, and then go to bed because that game is
$8.
One of those where you literally just have fun with your friends. You push them off a mountain, help them up.
You can eat them.
Yeah.
What else do you want? No, it's fun. But like I said, it divided the community, the indie community into, or not really just indie community, but it divided into two different arguments. It was that Hollow Knight has screwed over the indie community. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I really do. There's so many arguments. We've already kind of talked about it. I just do not agree they did. If you have a good, fun indie game, no matter what you charge, it should sell. I do argue the cheaper it is, the more it will sell. Now, obviously, with that, you have to sell more copies to make the same amount of money as you would if it was a more expensive game. But do you want more players so that if when you release your next game, they're like, oh, I know that game. I know that company. Or do you just want to make just more money off rip? Would you rather have 200,000 players or 100,000 players? That's something that I don't think people are talking about as well. But
yeah,
this Hollow Knight Silksong, with its release, with how wildly successful it has been, just the amount of players, the amount of sales, just everything. There are actual pirating communities that are like talking about, hey, let's pirate games, yada yada. There are websites that, Reddit threads.
Oh God, yeah, Reddit threads
that are actually promoting, do not pirate this game. If people post in these pirating subreddits, hey, where can you go and pirate this game? Deleting it, banning those people. People are actively fighting to, not pirate this game. When a lot of these pirating subreddits, pirating sites, all these, places you can go to find where to pirate stuff, normally they promote pirating. I mean, that's why it's a pirating subreddit. These people are actively like, dude, this game is so good for, they made it for the player base at such a cheap price. Do not pirate this. Please reward these guys. Do not take this from them. We need more of this in the community. That is insane to me. You don't know how good and how of a reputation a game has to have to get pirating subreddits, just pirating promotion.
Yeah, that's insane because they're so like, I don't really have necessarily an opinion on pirating games, to be honest. I think the only company that I would say go ahead and pirate is literally Nintendo, because that's a scummy company.
They're the hardest to pirate too, by the way.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is like they deserve it because of their business practices and everything.
So we know where Jud stands. I'm against pirating.
Yeah,
I'm gonna come out and say I am against pirating. I'm a collector. I am a physical media collector. I love physical video games. I have the DVDs. I have it all. I feel a little bit different when it comes to emulating, especially with older games and harder to acquire games, because you go back 20 years
Yes.
now, those games are extremely hard to get a physical copy of. A lot of them don't work. They're just
Mhm.
they're almost to a state where you want to preserve them rather than play them. But
Yeah.
as a collector too, right? This is my argument with emulation. If I have a Nintendo 64 ready to work, ready to plug in, and I make up a game for the Nintendo 64, GoldenEye, I have a copy of GoldenEye. Why can't I emulate that on my PC to stream it to whoever, or just to play it when I already own it? It's not stealing. I own the copy. I own the Nintendo 64. I could have it next to me while I emulate it. I don't think that's a crime. Now, if you go and Assassin's Creed Shadow drops and the next day you have a pirated copy, I think that's shitty. As much as I hate Ubisoft, I don't think they deserve that. That is a crime. It truly is a crime. Despite that, no matter what, it's a crime. The fact that these communities, pirate Ubisoft games, I don't care. And then this game comes out, and they're like, please don't. To me, that means so much. It really does. And
Yeah.
I don't have much more to say about Silksong other than it is on my list to play. What a shocker, dude. I have had an absolute blast on Twitter. I'm going to call it Twitter. I know it's X. Just reading all these people reviews, talking about it, all these stats that are coming out about this game. It is incredible. It truly is. They deserve their flowers. I hope that this is a kick in the butt for the indie community to prioritize your potential fan base, because a lot of these guys don't have fan bases. So do what's best for them. And this is time and time again, we have proven, if you make a game that people love for a good price, and you actually care about your fan base, you will be taken care of. They will come. If it has to be a good game, you have to meet good game, good price, and actually care. Don't make it just a pile of crap, I guess. You will sell. And I think we've listed 4 great, and this list is long, but we've listed 4 great games this year that have blown up, of Silksong, Repo, Peak, and Lethal Company. All blew up this year. The devs, even go back to Splitgate, right? The first Splitgate, that game absolutely blew up. There's a little bit of controversy with the second one. We won't touch on that.
Definitely.
But if you make a good game people love for a good price, it will sell. Hands down. I am confident in that. With that, Judd, do you have anything else? I think that's we pretty much hit all our topics today.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we hit all our topics. I know we had probably some other things we wanted to talk about, but I think we might leave those things for another episode. This one definitely ran on longer than I think both of us were expecting.
Yeah, it's the first episode. We'll do better going forward for sure. It was a practice episode. But with that, if you guys have anything to say, if you agree, you disagree, if we've missed something, anything we can improve, let us know. Expect episode 2, the second podcast, sometime in October. We don't have an exact date for you. Hopefully, probably early in the month if we can do that before my baby's born. That would be perfect. But yeah, man, looking forward to some of these games coming out. We're fired up here at the end. So yeah, good thing we're ending. But
oh yeah.
Thank you again, man. All of our sources and just everything we've talked about to an extent will be in the description. Check out our website and our socials. Highly recommend it. Highly appreciate you guys listening. If you listened, comment potato, man. If you guys made it to the end, comment potato so we know who the OGs are.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I do that in my videos sometimes, so I know if people watch the whole thing or not, or I'll do it in the middle, I'll try to be sneaky, but oh yeah, man. Thank you all for watching. Catch you all next time, hopefully.
See you later, guys.